Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, David. Morning, Michael. Morning, John. Morning, Craig. Morning, Al. Morning, Valerie. Jason, Arturo, Alan. Morning. How's everybody doing? Doing all right? Doing good? Yeah. So, crazy stuff. The FOMO rally is still not over. Um, we may go a little higher. Just be careful. When it breaks, it's gonna come down. It's we're not just gonna go back to all-time highs. That's highly unlikely to happen. Um, I've been just kind of walking on eggshells. You could say, JT, you missed this. You missed this rally. Well, when it takes it all back, I mean, it's more than likely going to take it all back. Be careful, please. All right. Going long now is a high risk unless you're in a short-term position with tight stops. When this thing reverses, it's probably going to be violent. It's probably going to be fast. And I've been talking about the FOMO. Well, we hit that FOMO level, and that's fear of missing out. There's tons of people with fear of missing out. There's hedge funds with fear of missing out, fear of having the S&P 500 exposure long on their books at the end of the quarter. And it's not just hedge funds. I mean, it's a lot of people sitting there, that believed mainstream media. It's if you've been following me, I've been trading this rally off of the October low, so just be careful. Yeah, there's a chance we just break up, but I mean that's be careful, please, 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 be careful chasing anything long right now, because golly, this is I mean, I was watching the panic buying yesterday in the ES, the S&P 500 futures contracts. I mean, it was ridiculous. There were 20,000 contracts long at the end of the day, which is a crazy big number. And the NASDAQ was at like 15,000 long, net long at the end of the day, which usually it's down near, it's in like the 2 or 3,000 contracts a day slush. And taking 15,000 long on NASDAQ was just like, that was a crazy number. I was like, holy moly, people are panic buying long exposure. I mean, I'm sure it's stopping out a lot of people too. It's the super squeeze that I talked about all the way back in November, December. It's finally kind of kicking in, but we're gonna get a pullback before the next big leg of this thing. So that's how I feel. And there is that risk if we just blast right on up to 4,500 and turn down, it could be rather violent and take us all the way to a lower low. So please, please, please keep that all in mind. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Try this again. There we go. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation, intended to be informational, educational, and fun, is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. If you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor, please. Anyway, let's jump into it, shall we? So, what I brought with me today, the headline, look at this, set a new record yesterday. This is the Bank Term Funding Program, the emergency bailout thing that Powell started back in March to kind of save banks, save their balance sheets. We hit a new record yesterday. And this week, hitting a new record, up about $2 billion more dollars. Yikes, 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 right there. So this is, I don't know. This doesn't seem like a good thing for banks. This thing is not a permanent thing either. This is a time-limited deal, but more banks are still borrowing more money. Right there at the bottom, you can see up almost $2 billion this week. Last week was up even bigger. This week still up, positive. This is, kind of pointing to the fact that banks are needing money, needing $2 billion just to make the balance sheet work for the week. So this is the, emergency lending facility that the Fed set up to help banks stay solvent. This isn't looking promising here. Be careful if you're going long banks. Be careful, please. And where did this chart come from? Right here on the Federal Reserve's numbers. Primary credit, bank term funding program, right there. The increase, and also interesting, we have other credit extensions that are much larger than the bank term funding program. So then other Federal Reserve assets growing right there. Even though they're supposed to be reducing their assets, they're growing them. So I don't know. Sounds like dumping liquidity in the market, trying to keep it fluffed up. Be careful. Be careful. All right. Lots of things aren't jiving. So morning Beth, morning Sledge, morning Tim, Maurizio, morning. All right. S5FI. And I don't know where my little red lines went. That's kind of weird. Let's see if I can bounce them. There they are. So S5FI continuing to climb up near 80. That's usually the point from where we have reversals. Morning, Dan. ES, of course, blasting on higher. We do have that gap up, that extra 40 points pushing us on higher. The March high right up here around 4,600. We could get there, but that's an exponential move. As I talk about all the time, exponential moves usually result in exponential right back down. We typically, we see that over and over in the history. We get these exponential moves, and then a nice big sharp pullback happens over and over. All right, we can go back forever here. Exponential move up, big correction. That was even off the COVID low. Oh, we're going back to all-time high. Correction. All right, just be careful. These things happen. Exponential when it's just chugging along, fine. When it goes exponential, we usually get a sharp, fast pullback. A lot of times it comes back to the roadmap line. Look on that daily chart. Right back to the roadmap line. Right back to the roadmap line. Back to the roadmap line. Way back to the roadmap line. Back to the roadmap line. Just a quick test. Quick touch. Right back near the roadmap line. Right back near the roadmap line. Over and over and over when we go exponential. All right. Why would this be any different? I don't think it is. We can come right back down sharply. Please be careful. All right. And if you're feeling like you're missing out, that's the exact feeling that sucks everybody in, everybody else out there. And that's when everybody gets ripped. All right. Then you have to wait for it to come all the way back. So, yeah, Apple breaking out today. Well, Apple's been broken out. I don't know where you've been. Apple's been hitting all-time highs over and over. So it's not really a breakout. NQ keeps chugging higher here into the danger zone. That's extremely exponential. Poking above the March highs. If this one goes new all-time high, for God's sake, be careful. We're probably going to go lower than we saw back here. If we just break up and go straight up like that, oh dear goodness, that sets us up for a big crash, like nasty, gnarly correction. Scary type stuff. Now, Russell here, still not caught up. Huge opportunity for Russell to catch up. Still sitting in the box here. Really struggling to get through. So, the small caps aren't playing yet. Small caps aren't saying this is all clear. This is some kind of weird tech AI bubble freak out FOMO rally thing. I can't stress enough to please be careful. This is a dangerous situation. Sure, you can make a ton of money, short-term trading the pop. But when the pop ends, it can be vicious. Extremely vicious. And you may not be able to get out. So oil continues to kind of build the base here, consolidating in the low here. If we can break out, that would be positive. But right now, just not going anywhere. Nowhere at all. OPEC trying to sell the shortage thing, and the market's not buying it. Traders not buying it. This was a lower low than here or here, but not than here. So we still have a higher low situation. Still could pop and go up to the target, but right now not indicating anything. That's just a sloppy, messy correction off of that. Off that initial bounce, we just expanding the range and making it's like a megaphone instead of a tightening wedge situation. So unreliable pattern. Can't really predict which way it's going to go at the moment. Gold spiked down. That may have been the bottom right there. That was close enough to the roadmap line. It didn't quite make it all the way. Got darn close. spiking back up, that could be it. I mean, we were within, say, 20 points of hitting the roadmap line, and 15 points. That was pretty close. That can be it. That can be all she wrote, and we can be off to the races on gold. Next target up, probably a new higher high, back to 2080 would be the next stop. Oh, could even get extensions up to 2121, possibly 2172. The big potential is silver, though. I feel like silver has the better opportunity. Bitcoin showing a little strength into the close yesterday, a little rally, and potentially opening a little higher today. Watch this one. It's a 3-day weekend we're coming up into. Remember, the market's closed on Monday. Bitcoin, historically, during more bullish times, which, Bitcoin's still up like 60% for the year to date. During those more bullish times, 3-day weekends tend to be a more bullish opportunity. We saw that a little bit on the Memorial Day pop. We can see that again during this Juneteenth pop, potential pop. It hadn't happened yet, but we may see a pop on Bitcoin. Don't get caught short Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum down below the roadmap line. I do kind of feel like this one needs a little further retrace right down into the zone. That's why I drew this months ago back here in April. Maybe it was before April. Drew that retrace down there. And it looks like it's off just a touch. Need to move that up just a smidge. There we go. We're right down close to it. It may not take much. Right there. We could pop down just a little bit more, tag that spot, and then be off to the races on Ethereum. So I'll save that chart, so hopefully it won't keep updating on me. Dollar keeps crushing. Look, big drop yesterday, heading back to the lows, probably going to extend down here, at least 99, maybe 98, possibly to my target down here in the mid-90s, and then we can wrap that up. Stuff that was getting talked about this morning, space, and looks like, is that the market open? Not yet. Just somebody sending a message. It got about 6 minutes here. So, space, getting a pop. Let's see, what news maybe? Timeline for commercial operations. All right. Sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. So then we have Invex Electric Products, Innovix, whatever. Some company names, right? Potential breakout, but we do have that gap. Probably fill that gap. This is one I've apparently looked at before because I got boxes drawn all over the place. Got resistance up to 17, so we could chug our way up there. Looks like we're trying to break out prior highs. That has been resistance for a while here. Since back in November. Haven't been able to break above that level. And we have the gap fill right there. I don't know. No idea what these guys even do. Probably has Innovix.com. Yeah. No idea. Silicon anode and lithium ion batteries. So they're a battery company. All right. SoFi. We're probably going to retrace back to here, back to this 8, retest the breakout point. This is a breakout. Apple, not a breakout. This breakout. This was a move above that prior high. Spiked up, almost to extensions. Probably retrace, maybe go a little higher before it comes back to the roadmap line. It could just fail now. That was close enough. Could just come all the way back down. Don't expect it to keep rallying. DKNG. Well, not too bad here. Just consolidating above resistance. And we keep squeaking out a little bit higher highs, a little bit higher highs. These little moves, you can see we go up to the 1272, then find a resistance, and then, yep, it's next move up could take it up to 27. Otherwise, we might come back to retest this breakout zone. This was breakout, kind of a breakout level here. So morning, Arthur. Morning, everybody. If you want to chat with me, if you want to ask a question, anything like that, all you got to do is hit subscribe, couple seconds later, you'll be able to chat with me while I'm live. If you are tuning into this later, you got to leave a comment. I'll do my best to get back to you on the comments. And if you want to keep chatting with me outside of this, links in the description. So, all right. And then you might as well hit the bell with the little doodads, because on Monday I will go live and talk about crypto, because crypto will be moving even though the market is closed on Monday. Yeah, we can look at Tesla. Still the same situation with Tesla. It needs a pullback, and it's in a dangerous spot. Hood potentially breaking out of this crazy wedge thing it's been in for, gosh, almost 2 years. That could be a massive potential breakout right there. Can take it back up to 20 area. That'd be pretty cool. I've been sitting on some shares for a while. ADBE, yeah. Breakout, gapping up. It's got a long way to go back to the old high up here. Probably has another resistance level right up here. See how that was the, look, you see how that was support right there? Popped up, crushed down through, tried to break up, failed, tried to break up, failed. So that likely will be a little bit of pause point. If not, like resistance going up through, it may be support if it retests. Be cautious. You know, that little zone right there was also where it found support when it dropped, before it really dropped. And when it dropped right there, found support, popped up, made a marginal higher high, and then really came down. So we'll probably see a little resistance in that zone right there on the way up on Adobe. But that's looking pretty promising going higher. Try to get my line straight. You can kind of see that white line going across there. Anyway, PBLA, pharmaceutical. That is a gnarly chart right there. You know, the two reverse splits, and one for 40, one for 30. Remember, biotech, pharmaceutical stuff, dangerous, super dangerous. Kava. Yeah, getting a nice little pop there on Kava. Looks like I don't even know. There's not enough data to, you know, one candle. Nothing. It must be a new IPO or something. ADRT. Wow, that's a serious pop right there. Financial conglomerate. There's nothing. I mean, that's like bubble situation. I'd be careful going straight up. And I'm glad you like the new biotech thing. I got that made up. I got a couple more I'm going to work on here. Got one maybe for a dumpster fire, maybe for a leverage thing. I got some more planned here. So, all right, another one here, another biotech. Be careful on this one. And now the market's open. There we go. So this one looking like garbage. And iRobot potentially breaking out here. We've got resistance up here, right at the top here where it gapped up and then crushed down from. May go right back up into that $59 area on iRobot. NVIDIA still rallying. Probably going to get to my target zone, the 460 there. You know, that's only, what, 25 points away now? But this thing has shown in the past to retrace 50, 60, 70. I mean, you know, that this thing can retrace hugely, all right? Don't think that just because it looks like it's going to the moon that it's going to keep going to the moon. We're getting near 38, 39 times sales. At some point, reality is going to set back in, and this thing's going to retrace. Be careful. Please, for the love of trading, don't just dump all your money into NVIDIA. All right, another one. COHR, Coherent. Yeah, it looks like it's climbing the fib ladder. That's going exponential too. Probably resistance at that 58, that prior high. Look, kind of lines up together with the fib line. Right in that zone. Be careful for a pullback off of that. May come back down and retest this consolidation high, 47. And yeah, so what makes sense there? They surprise with negative earnings, negative revenue, but yet they still go exponential. How the devil that makes any sense? You got me. MSTR was popping a little bit on Bitcoin being up off the bottom. I still think it looks best if it goes and taps that little orange box down there, but that could be the bottom. We could launch off. Remember that what I said about crypto rallying on 3-day weekends, it's been a pattern. PANW just keeps reaching extensions. That's, the higher we go on the fib ladder, the more likely it is we get a deep retrace. That's same situation here. We could get a retrace. We're way up above anything that anything that looks normal. Sheesh. Let's see on this bigger pattern. Could go up to 261, possibly. But that's going to be really extending that correction from 2022. Snowflake. Probably going to keep rallying up to the top of that resistance there. Get above that, then it can do something else. But right now, I expect resistance and a reaction right at the top there. Crowd, let's see. Finally, potentially. See, that's same situation there for snow. Right up to the top of the box. Retrace a bit. They try to break out. It still has those highs just a little bit higher. Fix that just a little bit. Still working on getting through that resistance. Why there? Well, look. It was like support back here. Try to break out. Support, 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 support. Nope. Resistance, resistance, and then on down. So that's a zone that has a lot of supply to it for crowd. If we can get above there, that's great. If we can't, just be careful. Humana still can't get out of the funk that United Healthcare caused. UNH announced some higher than expected expenses because of surgeries and taking care of the old people, the boomers. Some of you may be boomers, but higher than expected costs. Imagine that. Jeez, getting older and things cost more money, inflation, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how it's unexpected. Anyway, looks like ARE still potentially on a path to get that $100 target. Getting a little bit of rally here. We break out above 128, we can do something else. But right now, ARE looking like it's going down. DPG, ouch. Look at that one. Bounced off the roadmap line and way lower. That probably hit some extensions and probably, way down past the extension. May keep dropping, but support down here around 990. Where these lows were, right back over here. Oh, that's cool. XLU, get some sort of alert. Let's see what we got on XLU. I'll pick up a couple of I'll look at a couple things. Hopefully, what the stuff y'all are throwing in there is actually moving. XLU, still got resistance in there. Not sure what my alert was for. I'll have to go back to my notes. I don't have, it's my broadcast area. I actually trade on a different computer, so. Above there can take us up to at least there. Utilities and energy. Little birdie told me to pay attention to those upcoming months, so pay attention to utilities. So VIX, I mean, what do I see? I see it farting around at the lows. And likely, when we get the big pullback that is highly likely to occur, we're going to get a spike. Like, this is kind of ridiculous for the current market environment. Not a boomer, a geezer. Boomers defined when you were born. Apparently, I saw a new thing in Wired yesterday. I'm of the what they call it, the Oregon Trail age. It's a special little age that was the last to be born without significant technology in your life before, I guess before college age. But I had a computer since I was 2, so I don't know. I don't know how that all works out. So there's VIX. A bounce is more than likely in the future. Apple was a request. That's not moving up. I don't know what saw a breakout in the chat there. That looks like it's going to retrace. 99 is kind of my upper target here for Apple before, and this thing has been on a massive tear. At some point, she's going to give it up. Like, it just doesn't go up forever. I mean, it just doesn't. Like, it goes on a tear and then get a yikes kind of pullback. So just be careful. And then Tesla was the other one. And Tesla keeps chugging here, but it's running out of fuel. There's not, we're not making a new high yet. Highly likely to come back to this zone right here. I drew these arrows all the way back in like February. It did that thing, a little bit higher than that arrow. This arrow likely to play out sometime in the coming months here. Could be in July, could be in August. Likely to come back and then do the next move. So stay tuned for that. PLTR. I have much higher targets on PLTR. 22, 25. I'm actually long this. My target's right up there. We have significant resistance from back here. So that's a huge move up, but it did a huge move down in a long consolidation. I mean, it consolidated for a year. It stored up a lot of energy. Come up into that resistance, sure. I mean, look, that was support resistance for a while. It did the exponential thing, exponential up, exponential right back down, and I just moved my own target. That was cool. I don't even know how I did that. Put it right back. All right. Yeah, there's PLTR. All right, did I miss another one? VIX, Tesla, GM. I think it's just good morning. See GM a lot. Yeah, you guys capitalize GM. I mean, it makes me thinking that one's not moving. Down 0.4%, 0.5%. So be careful. My bias for the day. Bias for the day on this last trading day of the week into a long weekend. Highly cautious. Still very cautious. Like, this is pushing all sorts of extensions. I'm just kind of sitting on a lot of cash, really, waiting. I like to wait for the opportunities, the pullback. I load up when everybody else has got fear. When everybody's like, oh my gosh, the world is ending, that's when I load up. I get my opportunities. I bought PLTR at the bottom. I sat on it at the bottom for a while. Right now, I'm cashing out. Like, this was, we're ripping through targets. Upside targets. This is going to come back. It's going to do a pullback. Maybe not today. Maybe next week. I'm just kind of sitting, waiting. I'm hunting the opportunities. All right. It's much better to be a hunter than a chaser. Chasing wears you out. Be careful, please. I'll be back again Monday with a crypto special. If you want to be a part of that, make sure you're a subscriber and hit the alert with the bells. Otherwise, we'll see you. Have a great weekend. Bye for now. Come join me again next week. Bye, everybody. Stay safe out there.